I don't know how much value I have in this universe, but I do know that I made a few people happier than they would have been without me. And as long as I know that, I'm as rich as I ever need to be.
Hey kid, what time is that?
It's time to refresh.
Back once again with another episode. This is episode 69 of the It's Time to Refresh podcast. I'm down in Burnley today with DvB Productions.
Hello.
Alright.
And Dom. First time we've met today. They seem like decent lads other than supporting Burnley, but
someone's got to, mate.
Yeah, well, there we go. We've had loads of people turn off now already. You know what I mean? No. So how are you doing? Is alright?
Yeah, good. Cheers.
What did you have for tea last night? From go left to right.
I've just been on holiday, so I had a pizza at an Italian restaurant last night. Lovely.
Nice. Where did you go?
Ribby Hall. It's towards like Blackpool way.
Okay, right. Oh, interesting. Would you have what's the toppings on your pizza? Don't say pineapple.
I can't.
If you support Burnley and you eat pineapple, just get out.
I do actually like pineapple on pizza, but it weren't pineapple. It were chicken, pepperoni, chilies, and a bit of Nuja.
I'm into that.
What's Nuja?
It's like a sausage that's not a sausage.
Stick to pepperoni.
Carl Pilkington. Sorry.
Might as well get it out of the way. What's that?
Anyway.
What did you have for tea?
Just burgers and mash.
Freddy's?
And peas. Burgers and mash and peas.
I'm on a diet, so unfortunately.
Oh, we all. Apart from you.
I know.
I just had chicken and rice again last night, so there we go. That's
Sounds
it.
good to me. Sounds good.
Yeah, so we'll get straight into your story. So who's DvB and where does it all begin? As you say, you both have your separate stories and now you've got into it and stuff like that. So where does music come into your life for you?
Music's always been a part of my life in every way. Like
Right.
I've played loads and loads of instruments growing up, and I still play guitar now, playing a band. And I just like music as a whole. It's not about bounce, it's not about rock. There's not much I won't listen to.
Yeah,
and enjoy.
That. I like that. You can tell with the tunes as well, can't you? With your tunes, it's like you're doing stuff musically rather than the structure of a bounce track where it's the kick needs to be here, the donk needs to be here, the riff needs to sound like this. But yeah, I think you can tell with some of the melodies and stuff that you do that it is just if it feels right, then do it. Do you know
it just comes very natural to me to write music like riffs and stuff like that and translate guitars on there and stuff.
Yeah.
It was for me. It was the production side of stuff that was always weak in the early sort of days.
Right. So where, is your family in that into music? Is it have you grew up around it and stuff like that?
Yeah, but not much more than anyone else, I don't think. Like, my mum played in a brass band. Stuff like
My granddad did.
She still does, but apart from that, I just grew up with like David Bowie and AC/DC and Led Zeppelin and all that stuff.
I'm like Bonnie M. Listen to my dad.
So, what part of what time did you think I want to replicate what these musicians are doing? Like, what was the?
Yeah, I didn't have a clue about music production. I knew that there was something called a music studio, but I didn't even have a clue about any of it. And I went to Burnley College when I was, I've been 17. I went to Burnley College and I went to do live performance. So I went to do like guitar and stuff like that. Right. And then while we were there, one of the modules was like a production type thing. And they had these Macs in this room and they had Reason, which is the door. You don't know, but you know. And I just sat down messing on that and like it blew my mind.
Yeah. So were you able to play instrument at this point before you went to college? Like,
Yeah.
So what were you playing? Is it guitar to begin with?
I played guitar since I was 11. I think I started in year 7. Before that, I was playing keys. Played a bit of clarinet at primary school, but we'll move. It's not
recorder.
Clarinet.
Yeah,
I'm sorry
blind mice.
I'm sorry for any clarinet players out there, but it's not cool.
Yeah. What was the first tune you learned on guitar?
Smoke on the Water.
Yeah, everyone's in it. What about you then? Where's music come into your life?
I don't know. I remember being about, I think I was 12, and I just really wanted decks. And I used to go into the local vinyl shop, I think it was Electron, and the one across the road were Astonishing Sounds.
Yeah.
In Burnley.
Yeah.
Big up.
And I'd buy like the Scoused Out CDs.
Yeah. I can remember them when they were kicking around.
Yeah, and I said I want some decks. And I think I got at Christmas that year, I got some Cam belt drives.
Why did you want decks?
I have no idea. I can't remember. I remember having a CD on my phone as well. I think it was Nicky B's 3-deck session. And the first track with that Arvin tracker, Make Your Body Move.
Yeah.
This
must have been about 2009.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so it must have been before. I have no idea. I can't remember that far back.
You grew up with like house and stuff and trance, though, didn't you?
Yeah. It was like, but I also like listened to Oasis, Stone Roses.
Yeah.
So it weren't just dance music.
Yeah.
Even Eminem. Like, I was massive into him. I think that was one of the first vinyls I bought were an Eminem vinyl. So I was trying to mix that into one of my mum's Michael Jackson records. Into one of
Wait a minute, I'm writing that down.
into one of the donk records that I'd picked up too, and they had like 3 donk tunes.
Yeah, so it was about the music more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, I see. And then where does the sort of DJing aspect come into it? Or what come first, the DJing or production for you?
DJing by far. I weren't really interested in the production until like I started getting friends with Ben later on, like down the line. And I think when we made our first tune together, that was the first time I'd ever thought, I could get into this side of it.
Yeah.
Because like I'd just like seen people have the music already made, and it'd be like, I'd just buy the vinyl.
It's one of them things, if you don't know anything about it, you don't even know where to begin, do you?
Blank, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like when I was starting out, and there was no one I knew who was a DJ. I didn't know. I can't remember the first person I met within the scene or whatever, but like I was there, and it would be like, how do you produce a track? Like how have they done this? At first, when I heard DJs playing, I used to listen to Italian and stuff. I'd be like, I thought they made that tune.
Yeah.
Do you know, that was in my head. You sound dumb when you say it out loud, but when you
can only take it at face value, can't you?
Yeah.
I remember
If
actually,
you're growing up and you see a big DJ and he's playing, you must think, that's his music.
Yeah.
Because why would you think anything different?
I remember getting a cracked version of FL like years ago, and I didn't know how to change the piano roll. So it'd be like just a kick on the 4 bars, and it'd just be a donk on the 3rd bar, and it'd be the same. Like it wouldn't be changing key out, and I'd be like, "Wow, that's sick."
The amount of people that still do tunes like that's unreal. It's essentially just a hard house tune, isn't it? Then you know what I mean? No, but I know what you mean, because like obviously when you get the early version of FL, and you don't open up the piano roll, it is just literally play it in the root key of it's in. And it's like, I think we all started there, innit?
Yeah.
It's different as a FL, isn't it, to quite a few donks?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
I think so.
I like it. My first exposure was Cubase, and it took me a bit to get my head around it, because obviously like the shortcuts and that, once you know them they're easy, but like when you could do like continuous automation throughout the track, whereas you can make automation clips in FL and stuff like that. And when I went over to FL, I was like, why have I been stressing out all this time about that? Like, do you know what I mean? It took me fucking 20 hours to get like a basic arrangement together. I could do it in 2 in FL, so I think that's why I stuck with it. But what do you work on now?
Logic,
yeah.
What made you go to that?
I was on FL for a long time, until the point where I quit in 2013, and then I just forgot about all music production together. And then my wife was progressing in her field and her job and stuff like that. She was getting, bigger and better up the ranks and stuff like that. And I just thought, I need to do something. And we were talking about it and stuff. Well, she said, why don't you go into secondary education and go and get a degree or something like that?
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about it. I was thinking maybe IT, because I'm quite good with computers, or used to be.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, why don't you do something in music? And I was like, do you know what? I've always been interested in music production.
Yeah.
And it was there. So Spirit Studios in Manchester.
Right.
It's quite a famous sort of place. You can go and do courses there, small courses, or you can do like full BA honours in music production, and they give you these world-class studios.
How did you find it? It's interesting asking this. I've talked to a few people. There might have been 1 or 2 on the podcast who's also done it. But how did you find it on an academic level, learning? Because a lot of people walk away and say they've learnt like the fundamentals, but they didn't learn anything they couldn't have learnt anyways. But and then other people say it's the greatest sort of like start they could ask for.
Yeah, it depends on what course you go on.
Yeah.
Essentially, because I did full music production, it was nothing to do with bounce. It was nothing to do with house. It was music.
But
So
it can be adaptable in that though, can't it? Like once you've got your fundamentals of what music is, you can learn to destructure everything and do it in that way.
Of course you can, yeah. A lot of it was like mic techniques and setting up a studio and patching in analog gear and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And using a big Neve console as big as the room and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I had no idea about any of that. All I'd done previously, and I'm not joking yet, all the old DvB Productions tracks, I'm being deadly serious. So I'd give you all them lot from that sort of era were done on a laptop and a pair of PC speakers. I didn't even have a pair of monitors.
That's good, because like some of the quality that even still hold up now, really. Some of like when you play them, it doesn't stand out in a club that you'd think, wait, that was made on a shit set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they do stand up still.
I just knew the room, I guess.
Yeah.
If you know your room inside out and you know what to listen to, and you know if it sounds a bit boomy in that corner, avoid it and stuff like that, then I think you can get the sound that you're after.
Well, I moved house about 2 years ago, something like that, and it took me ages to adjust to the room.
Yeah.
It's like I was like, is it my ears just thinging me or what? And then once you get used to it, it's like you couldn't imagine going back to how it was. But
yeah, it's mad,
it's weird what a room acoustically can do to you, like your like decisions and like critical thinking and stuff like that. Like I know now sometimes I've got like quite a dry room now, so the reverb's not that bad. But in comparison to my old house, I had to compensate for that before, and now I know I can be very, very generous with say reverb and stuff. What sounds right, whereas before I was always wary. It sounded a bit boxy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. If you spend time treating your room properly and you just listen to loads of music in it, eventually you just sort of it's not even a thing you do. It just does it. Yeah.
So you so early on. So you were started out as a DJ. Into the music production.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how far did you get with your DJing?
Well, so I say I got me cam decks at 12. I think I was just on him every night, like every single night. And my mate down the road, who called Sam, he used to come up and he'd be out on him. Shout Sam Holden. And he used to come up. And then the year after, I said, can I get some techniques? Because I'd been on all forums, like Time to Come Alive and all that. And everyone was like, on about techniques. So it's like, I need some techniques. So I think for a joint birthday and Christmas present, I got some.
The pricey, aren't they? Yeah.
I've still got them now, but I got some techniques.
That's good.
And I think within about 3 hours on Christmas Day, Sam came up and accidentally stood on case and cracked all casing. So it's got a bulldog sticker on it to this day. I didn't big crack.
Big shout, Sam.
Just that.
Yeah. But what was your first record then? Because obviously you were mixing on vinyl to begin with. Can you remember?
I want to say I think it was like a Password record.
Right.
It was that, and I got two others. I'm assuming they'd be like a Fitzy Rossi B vinyl or a Bad Behaviour vinyl.
Yeah,
but
Bounce DJ, Fitzy Rossi B.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? Can you remember what the Password record was?
I used to play James Brown quite a lot, so it could have been that.
Right.
With Miguel Serna.
Right.
When I got the techniques, I think when I was 14, I got asked to play at Calamity Jane's club in Burnley.
Right, I can't say about that.
Yeah, it's closed down yonks ago, but I DJ'd there and I was absolutely well nervous. So I did that, and then I started getting booked for Epic Bounce, which was round Burnley.
Epic Bounce.
That was like a year later.
Yeah.
And that's how we just kept bumping into each other because we were on the same lineup.
Yeah.
So, and then after...
Yeah, all our mates were like doing our thing. I think I were 18 at the time. Something like that. Because I did used to DJ, but I just... I understand DJing is its own craft and stuff, and people get major into it. But for me, I just like playing my songs.
Yeah.
That's how I see DJing for me.
Yeah.
We just kept bumping into each other, didn't we? Because you were a lot younger and stuff like that. And it was like, how's this kid getting booked to like do bounce nights and stuff?
Yeah.
But he did.
I know. I remember first time I did Epic Bounce,
Was Epic Bounce 2013?
No, 2010 was the first one, I think.
Oh, because I remember seeing the flyers around and that.
The 13 one, I think that was they came back, and featuring Cube and Rattenstall.
Right, okay.
I did that one as well, but I couldn't. I had to take a break because I did the first one, and I got me whatever I got paid. It weren't much, but I then got told, off my mate. It's like, my mate Rob is like, you get free drinks if you're a DJ. So I think I'm like 16-year-old or something like that, 15 or 16. And I'm constantly going to bar and I'm ordering drinks for me and all my mates. And then they're giving it me, and then I'm just walking off without paying him. And then I went back, and then Bouncer just grabbed me, and he actually kicks me out. And I'm DJing. He's like, I don't care.
Fucking hell. Yeah, better asking the question. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that didn't go down well.
Where does the DJ come into it for you then? Where you were saying about learning the production, the music production side of things. Where does the first gig come in for you?
First gig. I should be able to remember this because I haven't done a right lot. I'll be honest with you. Right, opposite the Royal Dutch in Burnley, there's a pub called Brickmakers.
Yeah.
And it was my mates at the time. They sort of blagged the landlord to let them have a bit of a bounce night there. Right. It weren't really a bounce night. They just used to take decks up there, turn lights off, and play loud music. Yeah. And I used to go up there every Thursday and Friday and do like an hour to 2 hour set. Right. Up there. So that's how I got started.
Class. It sounds like really good, to be fair. Like, do you know what I mean?
It was okay.
Proper underground. But so what type of tunes were you playing to begin with? Obviously, when you got your first gig and you had your first gig, what was because you weren't playing your own productions?
No, I was playing like Spanish. I was obsessed with Spanish, mixing poking vocal. Like, as I said, I used to listen to like Nicky B's, and then I'd download like DJ Lara's CDs, Miguel Cerna's CDs, and
Miguel Cerna's a god when it comes to that stuff.
Oh my god, his 3-deck sessions, just even like the live sets, they're just mint, aren't they?
I remember watching him for the first time live, and I was just like, the way he like, I see, like, you see him pacing back and forth when he's DJing and like moving around. The concentration, because obviously he's constantly mixing like 3 or 4 tracks, and it's like he makes it look effortless. They're just like interacting with the crowd and everything like that. And I'm just like, if that was me, I'd be like, headphones on, like, no one else is around me, and you put it on the show. Then I feel like it's a proper skill in what he does.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's different as well from the way that other people mix, especially that round here back then.
Yeah. No one can replicate the way that they do it. Yeah. Even like you see some of the Spanish lot who do it, and it's like you're trying to do what they did, but it doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and they sort of nailed that sort of thing. There was like a few of them. Miguel Cerna, Lara was one of them as well. I like Raul Soto. People, like that sort of group, but then you hear some of them and it's just like they'll just throw it over for the sake of throwing it. I mean,
I heard a Pedro and Pox CD from years ago, and it started off well, and then it just started like they're just throwing anything into it.
See, there's a few of them who do that, and like this is where I thought a lot of, do you know, remember when about 2013, I think some of your like stuff was getting overlooked at the time, do you know, because the Spanish boom of that bumping sort of sound, and a lot of them, they were structuring the tracks so they could mix them on the last drop. It was very samey, and I think it got boring pretty quick, but at the time I think that a lot of people were excited because it's like, oh, listen to that sound. You know what I mean? Whereas I'm like I play end-to-end DJ, or I'll play edits of tracks down, because for me, like as you said before, DJing's not my main thing. I like producing music. That's what I'm about. But so for you, what was your influences then, like DJing wise, when you were playing out when you started?
Yeah, I sort of got into DJing by mistake. I'll be completely honest with you. At the time at high school, I was listening to a lot of like pop punk. I was listening to a lot of rock and stuff like that. I like the odd pop tune as well. I weren't completely out of the loop. But like I said, I listened to loads of stuff, and one day my mate at high school plays me this track of some bloke MCing, and I just remember thinking, that's awful, honestly. And slowly and surely, my mates just started playing all this MC. They didn't even call it bounce or anything like that. All they had was MCing.
Yeah, MC music, innit?
Yeah, so the music just got overlooked, and then it was only when I went down to the vinyl shops that you used to go to, and actually listen to some of the songs, and I started liking it a bit more.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I just bought whatever was in there. A lot of the bad records was in there.
Yeah.
Aqua, bouncy beats, bouncing tunes.
So this must have been about 2007 then. Like this is.
I got into it before he did, and back then there wasn't. Obviously there was Spanish, but it wasn't. It was more bounce music at the time.
I remember Electron across the road used to sell CDs of anyone. I think my mate sent me a picture of a CD that I told him in 2008. I can't imagine what the mixing were like. But I went to Les, I think that's Les for Electro. Like, will you start selling these CDs for me? And they were like £3 each. They were awful. The Photoshop skills are terrible. And I'm sure he just took them back off shelf and just like a week later give me £6. But I went across the road to neighbour, knocked on neighbour's door. Like this 60-year-old bloke came to the door. Like, do you want to buy me CD as a kid? He's like, I'll give you a tenner not to buy it. Give me a tenner. I'm walking away right happy. The ultimate diss.
So this is growing my following.
Hey, I'll tell you something. This is getting clipped. No. Hey, that's a belt of that one.
Yeah.
No. So as you're sort of getting into it, you're networking with people, meeting people who've shared the similar mindset of this is good tunes.
Yeah.
Locally.
Yeah, locally.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, all my mates were into it and stuff, and a lot of them put time into doing MCing and stuff like that. I chose the DJing bit, and it just went from there. Every time you meet a new person or someone new turns up, and then you get talking to them, and then someone else comes along. So I was in a taxi once with my mate Scott. We were just on our way downtown or something, going on a night out, and this guy gets in, this big guy. Paul Friedrich, he was Fred Swift, he was his foot rocker.
Yeah.
Now, and that was the first time I ever met him in a taxi, and we just started talking about it. He was like, I'm starting to produce bounce music. I was like, oh yeah, I am, yeah. And that's how we got the Illusion DJs going back in the day.
See, so this is what I was asking you off the pod before, as I was saying. This area is like, there's a massive amount of producers who've came from this 20-mile radius. Like it's unbelievable, and like you say, you were getting production, and fucking Fred Swift just gets in as well in the taxi, and I'm doing that as well. It's like it's a
small town, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a
small couple
town,
of towns.
It's massive for the bounce music and stuff like that. So I was gonna mention something there, but it sort of left in my mind. When you said you were into like pop punk and stuff like that, do you find that it's got the same energy as bounce? It's very if you go to a pop punk gig, because it's like 170 BPM at least, and when it's playing, the crowd's got the same energy as a bounce crowd. Do you know where I'm coming from? Whereas if you go to like a rock concert where it's like maybe Oasis, for instance, or someone like that, a bit more
different vibe, innit?
And it gives. I think that's why I enjoy pop punk so much, because it gives you this. I think it gives you the same energy. If I go to the gym, it's the only two genres of music I'll listen to. Yeah. I know I don't look like I go to the gym like I do, I promise. So you were talking about Illusion DJs. So is that how it happened for you there? So it's literally the taxi, and it was like...
Kind of, yeah. There wasn't a platform to put my music on as such back then.
Yeah.
There was only a few things. So Paul had connections and stuff. He'd done Fluids previously, and he knew Nick, and he knew Lewis LP. So he was just sending them to them, and then they were playing them, and that's kind of... I can't tell you how it grew from there. I can tell you how my own stuff grew, and I used to have a bit of a technique. But as far as Illusion DJs went, it just he handled all that stuff, and I was just in the studio. I just used to make the tracks really.
Yeah. What was the situation there then? Were you doing your own solo stuff and the Illusion DJ stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
We learned off each other essentially. Paul he spent a lot more time on the production side of things, the mixing techniques, stuff like that. Whereas I just wanted to smash down something that was melodic.
Yeah.
Because it always came naturally to me. The way I write riffs for my tracks, I write them in my head.
Yeah.
I'll be whistling something for like 2 weeks and then think, actually, that could fit in there. And I'll just go and lay it down before I forget it.
Yeah. That's interesting, that. See, we're also in a generation where you have to, you do it all yourself. Whereas, I've watched a few documentaries and that, and it's like, bands of the past, and it's like, they'll go in the studio, they're musically talented, they'll do it, but they've got a producer there who doesn't really get credited on it unless you're looking at the deep parts of the book of the album or whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's like they'll produce it, they'll polish it, they make it sound amazing. But they're like the musicians. Now we have to do all of them processes ourselves. Do you know what I mean? We don't have to, but it's.
If there's one thing I've learned from them 3 years and going out and working with the producers and bands and stuff like that, and booking time slots and all that stuff, the only person I believe you can rely on is you.
Yeah.
If you want it done a certain way and on time, it's you. And I think it's, if you can learn all these processes, if you've got all the mixing down and you understand compression and all that stuff, and you understand like a bit of theory behind what you're building when you make a track, it's not just like, I don't know, 50 bars of the same thing, then you save yourself money, number one. And you can do it when you want and you get it to a standard that you want. It's only when, like you say, that if you're not so good at mastering or you don't know how to master just yet, you bring someone in. But I think the more things you can do as a producer, it's just so much more beneficial.
Absolutely, definitely. So when you were doing your solo stuff and the Illusion DJ stuff, at what point did you think you'd like leveled up where you're like, I can make a track to a standard now? Like,
I think for you, when you moved to DvB, when you changed your name.
I think the first track where I made it and I was like, I think this is really good, it was Illusion DJ's remix of Amigos Forever.
Right.
I don't know if you've heard that or not. It's floating out there somewhere. It still wasn't. I still wasn't happy with it.
But it's at a standard. Like
it'd be good enough to. It'd pass on a night. I think.
And I can relate to that feeling of like when you've done that track where you're like, this could fit in a set with lots of other tracks that's by other people, and it's like, right, it's clicked now for me, and now that's when the real learning curve starts. Once you've got yourself to that like basis of, right, so this is how the music works. Now I can be creative, because like at first when you make tracks, you think to yourself like, I'll sound like this, I'll try and replicate this because I know it works. But once you've got that set standard of a track that you're happy with, where it's like, that could fit in a set, it's like, now I can be experimental with what I do. Now I can try things, like you said there, you were whistling riffs in your head, and you're like, oh, that could fit there. Whereas before you get to that standard, you're just trying to replicate what other people have done in the past.
I think everyone does.
That's
everyone does, don't they? Naturally, it just comes naturally to you to do that.
It's a nice feeling when it clicks, so isn't it? Like where you're like...
It is, but there's also that thing of, have you ever been like, oh my god, I'm 100% on this track, it's quality, and then you send it to a DJ and they put their mix on SoundCloud or whatever it is, and then you listen to like 20 minutes of great sounding stuff, and then yours comes in, and it's like, you just think, oh, actually... I've got a bit of way to go yet. And you feel a little bit deflated. It's a constant battle in your head. No matter how long you've been producing music.
Even now we're still not happy, are we, sometimes with tunes?
Like, he'll be like, how many sessions do you reckon we've got on this mix down now before it's ready? And I'm like, another 2. He's like, another 2? Why? It's like, but things take time. Little details take time. People have asked me before, how do you get your, like, now, my music now, not back then, how do you get your, like, songs to sound so aggressive? Because I think they do have kind of an aggressive feel to them. And they always want an answer of, it's this plugin. Use this. It's
every tune's different with every sample.
Everything's got its own sort of frequency.
It's a groove, isn't it? It's a feeling. It's more. It's not. You can't just say, listen, you stick this EQ on here. It's literally like you need to get the sound right. And it's very, very small adjustments and small things that all add up to make a big sort of final product. Well, obviously, which is hard to understand when you're getting going and stuff, isn't it? Yeah, because everyone thinks it's a formula, and it's not. It is trial and error and to an extent research and development of well, how did they get that? Like someone might listen to your show and go, how did they get so aggressive? And then they'll start playing around with trying to replicate what you do, and it's like I can't get it exact, but I can get an aggressive feel in a different way.
Yeah.
There's just there is that to it. Do you know what I mean?
There's 1,000,001 ways to do anything in music production. Not one way is the right way.
No.
Absolutely.
It's all about the final sound. You know.
Well, I was doing my research, obviously, because I'm a really good host and stuff like that. And I was looking through your videos, and you did a breakdown on one of your tracks.
Put It On Me, is it that one?
Put It On Me.
Yeah, and so you put like the kick and the loops and the melody and everything like that all in separate things, and then what it sounds like together. I like doing that myself, but when you did it, it's like you can see that as a producer who I would say I know a little bit, that to some people it might look simple where you're just like, oh, that loop's there, but it's getting the right loop with the right sound and the right riff sound with the right melody, and you can, like, if you break it down, you can break it down into simple steps, but it's all the trial and error of getting all that glue together correctly. Do you know where I'm coming from? So like, we
do use a lot of loops, but we don't just plaster one loop over one loop over one loop over one loop, because you get a ton of harsh frequencies.
Yeah, that's
you
it.
get massive amounts of mush. It's about how you put them in, and sort of we tend to have like a main one or two, and then the ones underneath we'll use for like dynamic bits, really.
Yeah.
We cut out our main sort of percussion on a verse and then smash it back in the chorus, and that's why the chorus sounds a bit fatter.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. It's like the idea of dynamics.
Well, this is what I've found. I know that we're sort of going off your story here, but when you're producing a track, and I've worked with a couple of people, and they'll just throw 3 loops in that sound similar to each other, and it's like, but it's covering the same. This is going to be fucking geeky, but it's covering the same frequency area, and it's like all 3 of them are playing a ride on the kick, like or something along them lines, or they're playing like a shaker that's hitting in the exact same places. It's like,
it becomes
having them
muddy.
3 on there, it's pointless, because it's just, as you say, it's causing the mush.
Yeah.
It can come from just inexperience, really.
Yeah.
I think a nice analog modelled compressor,
Yeah.
if you smash that on a loop, if you're trying to add loops that sound the exact same to get it to sound bigger,
Yeah.
put a compressor on there, an FET style compressor,
Yeah.
and then just dial it in at a big ratio, and it will make it blast. It'll make it sound. It'll sound crushed, but it'll bring all the sounds up, the harmonics and stuff like that. It's just knowing how to do these things, isn't it?
And as well, I've tried to explain to. There's a guy who messages me, and he's at the very, very early stages of his production, and he's doing the same thing where he's putting all the same sounds, but because they sound rushy and fast. He thinks that they'll all work together and make it rushy and faster, but it's actually just muddying it up.
Yeah.
And I'll say, listen, if you get the loops to do different jobs. So if you've got one that's got like a little snare hit that just gives it a little bit more groove, and then you've got one that's got the fast paced sort of shaker or hi hat, and then once you lay them together, they might not sound great, but then that's when you'll
check out
this
bits,
one's prominent,
don't you?
take one out, put another one in. It is essentially just trial and error, isn't it? That's what it is. But I think that's where experience comes in.
Yeah, I think every tune we start now as well, we pick samples, don't we? We change the kick, change the bass usually. But
Try to, but
yeah, sometimes though, you always go back.
I was talking to Fitzy about it, and it was like, if we put tracks out when I was in their studio, he was saying that you can tell it's me straight away.
Yeah.
And Ross said it, and I said the same to them. I was like, if you've done work and I just hear a random track, I know it's you.
Yeah.
No matter if you've used you've used like a completely different kit, you've used completely different percussion, you've used sounds and synths that you've never used before.
Yeah.
It ends up sounding like you.
I think it does. You can tell in your mixing techniques, absolutely. Like you a million miles. Same with Fitz and that as well. Like Fitzy and Ross, they've just got mixing techniques that just gives away their production style, and I think it's a good signature sound. It's not a bad thing by any stretch, because you can use a complete set of new sounds, but you've still got the DvB.
It still keeps it interesting, but you keep your identity, don't you?
Yeah.
Exactly. I think it's fantastic.
It's like, you say a rock band.
Yeah.
In 10 years, if they put out 4 albums in 10 years, they're not going to start changing. We're going to have this and that. they have guitars.
Yeah.
They have their tone. They have a drum kit. They have their tone. Their sound doesn't drastically change.
No.
It might evolve slightly.
Yeah, it's like the Arctic Monkeys, though, isn't it? Like the Arctic Monkeys, when they started to what they are now, they're still using the exact same instruments, but just in a different way.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like the new stuff.
No, I don't.
Like the old stuff. It's just one of them things.
But, yeah.
So yeah, we sort of went off subject there, but I think production people who like the people who's messaging me asking me to get you guys on is essentially producers who.
Yeah.
There is an odd DJ who said it, but producers are interested in hearing about your productions, so I'll talk about it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just want to move on from that. Where did the DvB name come from then? Because you said when you changed.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, do I have to say that? My old DJ name used to be DJ Viper B.
Yeah, I can remember that. Yeah.
So he already knows. And at the time, someone else gave me that name. He said, "What about DJ Viper?" And someone else said, "Well, you can't do that because there's an MC somewhere called Viper."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "I'll just stick a B on the end and spell it a little bit weird."
Yeah.
So then I'll never get, oh, you copied that name. So yeah.
It is quite distinctive, to be fair.
It was just one day I was sat at my girlfriend's house at the time with a pair of headphones on a laptop, and I opened up Fruity Loops that I used at the time, FL, and I just thought I'd go for another name. So I just shortened the D, V and B, and that was
It's
it.
a little bit better than Viper B.
You don't have to tell the story now. It just says Dom vs Ben.
It didn't have, that's what it stands for now.
Yeah.
Or it should have been BVB then in that case.
Yeah.
Oh well, it is what it is. But at least people know.
Yeah.
And it's a better name, I think, than Viper B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Really? There's still people, right? I go on the Burnley games and stuff, and there's still some lads who I see from back then, and they'll walk past and go, Viper B. I was like, will you not? Will you not call me that?
I'm going to start calling it.
Where did that name come from?
What, Viper B?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mate, I was looking for a DJ name, and he said, well, DJ Viper's pretty catchy. I didn't have anything that meant out.
Right, I thought there was some sort of link to like...
No, I didn't want to have a name that was like Ben S or...
Yeah.
I just wanted to have something,
Different
but failed.
Yeah. So yeah, sort of moving forward then, at what point did you think that you started putting out the good tunes? My earliest memory of the DvB stuff is sort of, you did like Get Up and Dance, you did It's Over, you did that with, who was that with? No, you didn't do It's Over, did you?
It's over.
No,
Don't
you
think
didn't
so.
do that, no, it was, what was the other tune that I heard and I was just like, this is good. Does
it give you, maybe?
No, we'll give you the obvious one, but there was one more that you did and my mind's gone blank. It's going to do my head in this.
Some old tunes. See if it rings a bell. The Wind Blows.
Make Me
That
Fly.
was an old one. Make Me Fly.
Make Me Fly was good, yeah.
it
wasn't that. It was...
Rather get
oh my god, my mind's gone blank. It's doing my head in because it's like...
No
I
Reason.
it as well. What?
No Reason,
There
yeah.
you go, No Reason, yeah.
I like that one.
I liked the... You did like Heart of Asia as well, but like...
That was the last tune I did before I quit.
Yeah. No Reason was the one I was thinking of. That is like... I still play that now.
Again, I'm not happy with the production on that. I listen back and I think, it's a bit muddy, is that? And I could have tightened up that low end and stuff.
I think personally, of its time, right? I think that it gives off the perfect vibe you were going for. I think if you there's tunes out there, if you tidied up too much, do you know when you listen to a rock band and they're not like 100% bang on, and it's like it gives them their flavour. Like, do you know what I mean?
I think that's got the top players as well, hasn't it? No
It's
Reason
got the
on
top players on
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud as that. But like you say, like Definitely Maybe, Oasis.
Yeah.
That production on there, if you compare it to some of the newer stuff, it's nowhere near as good, but it has an edge.
It's edgy. Like they did that thing. They did that brick wall compression again when they produced it because they wanted them to sound like what they sounded like live.
Yeah.
Rather than I've heard the recordings from the original Definitely Maybe, and they're not good. They're very weak. It's a studio album and it doesn't sound great. Whereas, but that doing the production like as if it was live give them that edge. And I think when you listen to tracks like No Reason, even Give You as well, I think it's got like a rawness that I think some producers in 2023 can't have, because they're either polishing the track up too much or they don't know how to get that I want to say feeling, but like
do you think we still have that edge now?
Yeah. That's why I said when you can tell your mix downs when I hear them, it's just like it sounds purposefully mixed in that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Don't take that as like a dig or anything like that. But you've mixed it in a way that you've still. Do you know when you said that, like Fitzy and Ross said to you about you can tell when one of your tunes come on? The energy in the room sometimes picks up when you play one of your new tunes versus a 2023 production. So that's why I think they've said that to you personally. I obviously can't speak for them, but when I hear one of your, you can feel the energy in the track pick up. I don't know what you've done, and you probably sit there and like sort of work it out, but as you say, it is just a collection of all small things going together. Yeah,
when you compare the give yous, it's like I
spend a lot of time with mixing tools essentially. Like sometimes more than I need to, I guess, but I don't know, I can't not do it now. So I like pull up an EQ and I'm dipping tiny little bits that I hate and stuff and then boosting it. But then once I've boosted it, another frequency that I hate will be right up there. So I put an active EQ on there just to dip that out and I've got 3 different reverbs going and I can't not do it.
Yeah.
I always set out.
That's why when we start
a track. Sometimes we set out to make something that's a bit chilled out. Yeah. And by the end of it, it's just like
it's got layer upon layer upon layer, isn't it?
It's not doing it for me. Let's just do it like we usually do.
Yeah.
That happens all the time.
Yeah. Do you not find that you've got this sound? I think there's a lot of people in the same thing. One of the prominent ones is say like an Alex K. Alex K's got a certain sound, and if he comes back and does something different, people are not that bothered. They want to hear what
I know what you mean. With the first verse EP, we tried every song with like a different sort of style. Yeah. Like you had Rabbit in a Hat. We'd never really done that before. Yeah. That sort of style. And then then when you compare to Where You Are that we've recently done, that were completely different again.
Yeah.
But I don't think that did as well as we thought it'd do. As like a normal bounce track that we'd normally.
It's nice to mix it up now and again.
Yeah, it is.
To throw a curveball out there, because if you do the same, if I opened the same project and did every track, there's that exact same project, people would lose interest.
Yeah, absolutely. That being said, I think if you came back when you did after the 2013 break and you come back with a whole new sound, I think it maybe fizzled out for you, whereas you still had the same sort of...
It did, honestly, mate. I was really down about it. Yeah. I came back in 2019, I put a post on,
didn't we?
People were messaging and all that stuff, saying, I can't wait for this and all that, and I put out the Love EP, it's called.
Yeah.
I think one track of it still exists on our SoundCloud, but they weren't good enough.
Yeah.
Looking back, I tried
Was it they weren't good enough, or was it simply... that it didn't have the DvB vibe?
It was different, it was different, wasn't it?
I don't think the mixdown was particularly well. I'm only sort of happy now, really, the standard that I'm at, that I think I'm happy. But yeah, I was all over the show. I was on a pair of headphones, then I was going back to Manchester and using these big studios. So like you say, when knowing a room and stuff like that, I didn't really know anywhere that I was trying to do it. And because I've not made a bounce track for how many soever years it was, 4 or 5 years, I tried to cram as many ideas as I possibly could into this track, and it ended up at about 8.5 minutes long.
Yeah, like all egg in the pudding, isn't it? That's what it is.
It just flopped, basically. People were telling me, they were commenting saying, every song you used to put out was rushy, and now it just sounds like it's missing something.
Yeah.
And when I listen to the Love, I agree, it's missing a lot, really. I think.
It's good to know that you have a little bit of a diehard following there, though. Like they've anticipated your return.
Yeah.
They've and they've voiced that it's not the same.
Having said that, do you know what? That track "Fall from the Sun" that I did with him, he weren't part of DvB then. But that was the one that people were like, "That's good."
Yeah.
Weren't they? That was the only one that was like, "Oh, he's back."
That was the third track we did, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because
you twisted your arm to get that 5 back. But yeah, we'll sort of move on from like so. You took a break in 2013 from the production, just dropped it completely. What was the decision? Was it because you just thought it's getting a bit boring, or?
I don't know. I drifted apart from the lads who I used to spend time with that were into bounce.
Yeah.
So it just happened naturally. My mates changed. I got in a band. I was listening to a lot more of what I used to listen to before I started. Because bounce, once you get started, it's like you can't stop, and before you know it, you're not listening to anything else.
Yeah.
So I just felt it was right. I didn't want to make it anymore.
What's the band you were in? What are they called?
I'm still with them now, and they're called Northern Social, and we do basically like 90s indie covers.
Right.
So we play Oasis, Stone Roses, then we do like Kasabian,
right.
Foo Fighters.
And have you got any stuff, like any original stuff on SoundCloud?
Nah, it's not an originals band. Basically, we have loads of gigs throughout the year, like local pubs and clubs and stuff, and we just go and have a good time.
Oh,
a few drinks and play.
That's good. I like it. It is good. So for you in 2013, where were you at?
I think I'd just done Fluids. They were like a DJ comp for Fluids vs Sopranos, and they'd just come back, and I've won the comp for the Fluid side. Were
you on back to back with Johnny B?
Yeah, Johnny. Yeah, that is a good memory.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then later on in the year, it might have been Mad Friday. There were another Fluids, and LP booked me again. So I'm buzzing about that. I'm happy with that. And then that was the year that we did the first tune together.
Right. What was that?
In the Moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tune, yeah.
In the Moment 2013.
Yeah, 13. Yeah, sorry.
So I'm just trying to gauge what you were aiming for at this time. Was Fluids or that was the
massive?
Aim?
Yeah, that was massive for me.
Around here, that is a big thing. Isn't it? Like
It was. I always wanted to do Fluids, and I've never got to. Lewis.
But yeah, I'm well happy with that. But I think after that, I went around to do the first tune, and then that's when I got like the bug. So a few months later, I think I was asking to come and do another tune with you, and we were in my house. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
We did that.
That rings a bell. I can't remember what it. Off the top of my head, I can't hear it in my head.
But the process, we're going a cappellas for you, if you remember that. And we'd literally just type in random words or random names.
Just type a random acapellas for you, right? Type a random girl's name.
Yeah.
And just see what comes up.
And then we just play anything. And we'll use that.
That's how we used to find.
That's how we used to find it.
That is a technique and a half. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do that on Splice now. Do you know?
There were a couple of times as well where we'd made a tune and stayed up making a tune, and then we'd listen to it in the morning and be like, delete. That's terrible.
Yeah, we did. We once had a few beers and made this track, and we were like, "Oh man,
that's the best track ever!"
This is so good. Woke up in the morning, listened to it,
delete.
just looked at each other and deleted it.
How did you end up making tunes together then? Like, what was obviously you said you were passing and whatnot, but where was it a conversation where you like?
I think
we just started talking more, didn't we? At gigs.
Well, basically, you grew up, didn't you? You started going on lads' holidays, and he became an adult essentially.
Yeah.
And then we were just messaging and stuff, and then said, "Fancy a beer?" or something. You want to come round to mine for a beer? And then it must have been then we were like, "Fancy having a go at a track?"
Yeah.
Just
Well, that's how it worked out. Right. So sort of moving forward, obviously were you still DJing past sort of like the 2013?
No, I stopped because I don't know. I might have just got into house music.
You did, I think.
So I started playing a couple of gigs locally, just house music.
Yeah.
And bounce kind of died off for me. I was still making CDs with my mate Rob, and we moved forward. And then I think around 2018, I started getting back into it, and then obviously Ben got back into it in 2019. So that's when we made "Fall for the Sun" together.
So that was down as a collaboration at that time.
Yeah.
Right. So you did this. It did pretty well, that tune, if I remember.
Yeah. I remember hearing it, the house version, and I was like, we need to do a bounce mix of this.
Yeah. So then, obviously, you're starting to build momentum in 2019, doing a couple of tunes of that together. Then the pandemic comes along, etc. Had you had any gigs when you came back, like in the 2018-19?
No.
Nothing. No. But, obviously, just finding your feet again. But so there must have been a conversation had during lockdown where you're like, "This is what DvB is now."
It wasn't that though. It was after. It was
yeah,
after.
we were just going to do the EP. We just feed them out, weren't it?
Yeah. Just to kill a bit of time, really. Yeah, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something harder.
Yeah.
You were up for it, and then we just got on Zoom and started knocking these tracks out. That was actually one point where I didn't have an idea. We just sat down and started making something.
So you said, I don't know if you remember, but you said this off pod. You said you never used to sit in the front of the computer. For those listening, they said you didn't used to sit in front of the computer. You used to have an idea structured first before you actually sat down and done it. So this was sort of brand new to you then, essentially, doing it this way. Yeah,
the process was, and it still is to this day, apart from when I get stuck and stuff, and Dom helps me out, obviously, was I'd be whistling something around the house. I'm a whistler, I'm always going like... and then I'll think... and I'm like, I can maybe put that in there and make a riff there and stuff.
Do you do voice notes? I do voice notes. When you go around shopping and someone's looking at you and you're looking at your phone, I've done that, like...
I think with our chat together, he just basically voice notes. What do you think of this? What do you think of this?
Yeah. So you decided to sort of be a duo on that together. What was the ideas going forward then when this happened? Were you gonna, like you said off pod as well, you get together like once a week and stuff like that? Were you dedicating that time to making something of the project sort of thing?
We did 6 foot, didn't we? For that house. So we started making house music together. And then
we did the first Vice Versa EP together. Mm-hmm. And after that, we just fancied a break. Yeah. It was like, what do you reckon to a bit of house? I'd never done house music.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'd never tried. So we made a new alias called 6 foot and started knocking some house stuff out.
Yeah.
It was just, I guess when I came back, I'd lost the thing of I'm going to be a massive producer in bounce. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get back to doing for fun, basically.
That's it's about it.
I made music for me.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I think that's the problem with a lot of people. I think they come along and they try to do people please, and then that's why there's a cycle of DJs that come year in year out, and then they'll pop their head in, and then they'll leave for a few years, come back.
Yeah.
It's if you make it for yourself, you realise you're just in a blink of an eye. 10 years has gone by. That's the way I see it. Like these last 6-7 years to me has just like shit. A minute ago it was 2014. Up until about 2014-15, I was doing things to make I was people pleasing.
Yeah.
And I never really properly thought truthfully, I thought I'm gonna fuck this off. It's not working for me. I'm not happy doing it. I feel like I'm losing too much of my time doing this. And then when I decided to do it for myself, make yourself happy, make tunes for yourself, it's like it's kind of good. This, like, do you know what I mean? Like that realization of, and then in a blink of an eye, 8 years has gone by. Do you know what I mean? So I think that first and foremost, anyone who produces music, and obviously he's agreed that you should do it for yourself.
Yeah.
If your tracks are your own favourite songs, then you've made something that somebody's going to care about other than yourself.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think that's where we agree now, don't we? Every tune is a different sort of idea, and it's just what we like now. It's not like what could sound what everyone else is doing. We'll just do what we like.
We're not going to put that in because people like it, or
it's just what we like.
Yeah,
like Dinky leads and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I just think they've been absolutely rinsed.
Yeah,
in every way possible, and I will never touch a Dinky lead and use it as a main part unless it's like layered with stuff and like properly mixed in there. People we listened to a lot of demos, didn't we, with the comp and stuff like that. There's a lot of people like with music on SoundCloud and stuff. As soon as I hear a Dinky lead and it's just dry, nowadays, I'm just like, next.
I think that a lot of people, I don't don't want to put this in like a negative spin or whatnot, but I think a lot of people see it as they'll hear it now and it's like, oh, everyone else likes this, so I need to use it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is as well,
People pleasing. There you go.
Yeah.
It's a popular thing. I've got to use it. You don't.
Yeah, and another thing as well, I think that a lot of people do it when they've run out of ideas, because like if you're in the studio and you don't have an idea, it's like, well, we'll just do what works, and then you find yourself using a Dinky lead again.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I do use Dinkies now and again. I think it's a core, because if you do defer away from bounce too much, you find your tunes don't do as well because it's not what everyone's used to. But as you say, if you use them smartly, lay them up, don't make them so prominent in the mix, then
just to make that clear, that is about like dry Dinky leads just smashed in there.
Yeah.
It's just, I think
if you use them right, they can
if you use them right and it's not every tune and it's not like absolute main focus of the track, then go for it, whatever works. But it's just a kind of a people pleasing thing that I think a lot of producers would try and do, because they're like, oh, bounce music, I've got to use this.
Yeah. And I think as soon as people stop using Dinkies and use alternatives as well, I think that's when people get their own identity, because if you use, there's only so many Dinkies that you can use that doesn't sound like somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's like, you use that sounds like the Clubheads, or that sounds like Alex K. Do you know, it's like it's one of them things. It's like, you need to be an innovator. You don't copying people's. No one's gonna ever look at you and go, he was a good Alex K tribute him. Do you know what I mean? It's like
you haven't got your own identity, have you?
Yeah, it's you're who you are, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe a lot of people don't like you as much as an Alex K, but if you keep pushing that sound and you have got that core fan base there, who's to say in 20 years' time that you're not looked at in the same Alex K's with the same sort of fan base?
Yeah, he came back though, didn't he, Alex K? And that was like a Dinky stab.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it, but he was like, he'd not done anything different from 10 years ago, like the same sort of tune.
Yeah, I think everyone does. There's an evolution of sounds, and like when you hear your earlier stuff and then you listen to the stuff you're doing now, there is a night and day difference in you're musically so much better.
That'll be me.
But
get your piano out.
but at the same time, like you have kept the original feel. Some people lose, like I said before, some people lose that original feel. They might get better musically, but they're not capturing the same vibe as maybe they once were.
That's what we struggled with, or I struggled with, because you weren't with me just yet.
Yeah.
It was trying to find something new and different and put different bits in, but like exactly as you say, keep what they liked originally. I think that we've got that now.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, definitely. Sort of moving forward then, after you started doing stuff together, did you notice you started getting a couple of bookings and stuff like that? I've seen your name on a couple of flyers.
In fact, I've told you a complete lie, because when you said, did I get any bookings after I came back? Yeah, I did, and it was Kenty who booked me. It was This Is Bounce and Sopranos. At Pure. It was a Christmas thing.
Oh, I can remember that. Yeah. Was it blue and yellow flyer, if I remember rightly? I can't remember what's on my head.
I think it was green.
Oh, I'm miles off there.
Flyer, but yeah, that were without doubt the biggest gig I'd ever done.
Yeah.
Apart from Clubbed Out over in Thingy.
Was that Newcastle? Yeah.
Sunderland.
Sunderland, yeah.
Sunderland, yeah.
So when you come back then, are you DJing as a duo when you decided to do this? So is that what's the formula behind it? What are you doing?
Yeah, it's just there's a duo. Yeah, like we'll turn up to a gig together, and
we're both good at different things.
Yeah,
and it works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get two blokes who are great at producing, neither are that good at DJing, neither are that good at social media.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah,
he's great at stuff like keeping up with social media, and he puts hours and hours into making videos and publishing them and stuff, and keeping like an activity on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Whereas I just don't.
You wouldn't post that at all, would you?
I think I've posted 3 times in the last year on that page.
I've noticed that DvB is more active on social media than it once was. Yeah.
All the mixes are him. He does like all the
Yeah.
Basically, everything that's DJing is done unless we do live.
Yeah.
So when you're live, right? What obviously I've did a manic set with John a couple of weeks back. What's your formula? Do you just do one tune each?
We do 2 tunes each, 2 mixes each. But like the summer sesh, like I'll be on decks for 2 mixes and you'll be getting crowd going. Energy's there.
An MC there, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going up stage. I was walking up stage and I'm coming down and shaking people's hands and stuff and like, come on, and all that stuff. I guess that's why.
Energetic.
If there's 2 of you, right, and I don't know what I'm trying to say. But
it's just if someone's just stood behind the decks and they're looking at the decks and there's no crowd interaction,
people will remember it.
Yeah.
Try and put on a show.
Yeah.
It's not just the DJ set, is it?
Like we had people messaging us, didn't we, the day after, saying like best set of the night or great set, and like, I can't believe how much energy you two have got.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
But,
so, a couple of questions, because obviously we have the same argument. Me and John. Do you argue who plays what tune?
No, I don't think so.
Do you shock?
No.
Or do you shotgun who goes first, or flip a coin, or all like that?
No, I always go first.
Yeah. It's like
there's a captain aboard this ship, and it's not Dom. I'm joking. We're 50-50, but I don't know. I started it first, so
yeah. That's fair enough. Yeah,
I wouldn't have any argument. So I'll give you my USB next time.
So obviously we talked about the summer sesh there. So obviously that was a gig that you did when you was together when you came back. How was that? Was it good to play out? Because I wasn't there, so I don't know what you played or anything like that. So I assume you played new music and some of your old bits as well, or?
Yeah, we always trying to fit some old bits in, for nostalgia.
Yeah.
And the crowd loved like the old tunes as well.
How did you feel that you're doing these tunes together, and like when you go out and play them out, you're getting the reaction and response of stuff that you've made?
It feels good, doesn't it? Yeah.
of course it does. Yeah.
It's like it's an accomplishment that people like your music as well as you. It's no point just you liking
it. If you
it.
see something go down, I think you know. I think you know which ones are going to do well in a club.
Yeah.
The ones with a big drop or
like imagination.
Section, you know, don't you?
Yeah. Is there anything you played, say, within that set, and maybe it's like a section of the track, and you're like, "Fucking hell, that's went off more than I was expecting." Or
the new ones.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think Where You Are did go down well at Summer Sesh.
I'm always surprised that our Make Me Fly goes down.
Yeah, everyone loves
I
it.
think everyone knows it though. It's just one of them.
As soon as that kicks in with that vocal, the room changes. It's like all the girls are like, "Oh, I had this on my phone." And all that stuff. Yeah, it's.
I don't know the pre-party before we came. But that's good. That's good. So, have you done any other gigs in that time? In this time here?
We did Flexing for Luca.
Yeah, that were not before the Summer Sesh though.
Since you came back. I mean, so was that mode?
Yeah, no, they were hidden.
Hidden. Yeah.
We don't get booked an awful lot.
Yeah.
And
book them. They're really talented.
Honestly, it's just I think we're known as producers.
Yeah, it's sometimes you get that thing where you're a producer more than anything. It's like more so with you guys as well. I think a lot of the DJs who are more DJs, do you know what I mean? DJs on the circuit active are playing your stuff. So
we don't make the tunes to get booked, but it'd be nice to play it out.
The tracks go everywhere. We send them to loads and loads of big DJs. Well, in bounce and stuff. Yeah, they go to John Neal and all that caper. Yeah, so they do get played. They get played all the time.
That's the thing, though. Is it like are people not booking you off the back of the fact of maybe I know that maybe someone's going to play one of their tunes, one or two of their big tunes.
I don't think so, because Fitz and Ross are still getting booked every other week. And heads up, I said this to Nathan the other day. I said, why do you two get booked all the time? We don't. I said that to him on Messenger the other day. Yeah,
but as I say, I think this is just me personally. I seen when the Summer Sesh got dropped, the flyer for it, and the lineup was there. I was just like, that's refreshing to see you guys on there. Like, I was just like, it's one of the times where I'll see an act and I'm like, probably go to that, you know, because there's not much that I've seen hundreds of sets by different people and thousands of sets all over the years, and like obviously people do change it up and stuff like that, but it'd be good to see you guys play out. I've never seen you play out live, so
for that night, Kenty said it's all about the producers tonight.
Yeah,
and it put on a lot of like names that we hadn't heard of, or people that don't get like us really, that make tunes and stuff, and people know, but they're not known as to like play out. Yeah, and I think that's good.
That it is. It's almost like a nod, just like a cheers for contributing. Do you know what I mean? I like the ethos of what he does, because you see some names and I'm like, who's this guy? Or like, I tried to keep my sort of finger on the pulse with who everyone is in the scene and what they're up to and at what level they are and like how good their productions are. And then when I see some of them, I'm like, fair play, you deserve that. It's good that like not that no one else is booking you, but no one else is booking you, and now you're getting a booking. Showcase what you got. It's like you said, like some people will say it was the best set of the night. Yeah. Like if it's the best set of the night somewhere, it's at least going to be second or third or fourth best of the night somewhere else as well. Yeah. So it's you
say that, but then people always have their favourites, don't they?
Oh yeah.
So everyone else on that lineup, there were people going, yours were the best set of the night. Yeah. It's only a matter of opinion.
Yeah. But if you're getting the reactions, and there's no like, my big thing is as well, if the big names are playing your tunes, there's no argument needed why you shouldn't be on that lineup, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that Dom's a little bit more in the loop with people. Mm-hmm. Like, I've never spoken to yourself. Mm-hmm. He obviously had, but I am nowhere in bounce. Mm-hmm. I just don't connect with anyone outside of some producers who I work with and I talk to. Yeah, like Greenie, Lee and Ross, Bon Lee, Andy T. I speak to. Yeah, that type of thing. I have no friends or contacts in this scene whatsoever. I just don't.
A lot of the time it is like someone used the analogy once on the podcast. I can't remember who it was, and I apologise, but they said like you could be the best DJ ever. You could have these fabulous mixes in there, but no one's going to drive by your house and say, fucking hell, he's good, him, I'm going to book him for a big set. Like, you need to put yourself in people's faces. Yeah. Shop window, that's what it is, isn't it? Even if you do put yourself in a shop window, a lot of the time you won't. People still won't pick you, but at least you're actively trying to. You've got no excuse to go, fucking hell, why am I not getting booked, you know? Yeah. Sorry for swearing. But yeah,
well, so it's not really like we're not begging for it. It's when they come, we're grateful.
It doesn't come across as that one bit, but I think you deserve more than you're getting, and that's my personal thing. I'd like to see you on more lineups. I think there's space for you on more lineups as well, personally. Yeah. That being said, have you got some gigs in the pipeline out like nothing?
Nothing.
Nope.
Diary's bare.
We have track ideas and stuff in the pipeline, but as far as playing live, nah.
Have you got releases coming out or not like that?
No, I think we've got a few tracks to finish off.
We've got this one track that we've taken our sweet time with, and we've changed it a load, and it's actually a cover of a metal song.
Right.
I'll tell you after. But yeah, we've had it re-sang by someone. It's a cover of a metal track. It works. Yeah. It's not just
no one else done it as well. No. Yeah, that's really good. I like that. Yeah. I like it when people think outside the box.
I don't think anyone will have heard it in this scene.
To anyone else that doesn't listen to American cheese rock, you know what I mean? It'll sound like an original track.
Yeah. So we're just going to sort of tie today up, mate, because I think I've really enjoyed this conversation, to be honest with you.
Considering have to do part 2.
Yeah, no. Considering as I haven't like actually met you until today, I was like comfortable straight away that we're talking to you. It's sound. But I'm sure I will be getting you back on. Something that was said off pod was, if you give him a drink, he's quite entertaining. So that's a possibility as well. That's a possibility.
Yeah, I won't be on that one. So,
I could put it behind the paywall. But yeah, absolutely, have you on again. I think it's good to sometimes, I say this to a couple of people who are meeting the scene, it's like it's good to talk to people who you feel like on the same wavelength as, where it's like they're in it for the right reasons, the share knowledge of putting tracks together or reading a crowd or whatever that may be, and when it clicks, it's just alright, innit? So to tie today up, have you seen any of the podcasts before? Have you watched it at all?
I've watched one or two, I think.
Right, and you said you watched it.
Yeah, I've watched it
as well. So I asked everyone, you're going to get the electric chair, right? You've got one more meal. What you're going to have, you can have a starter, main, dessert and a beverage. What are you having?
Okay, well I'll start with a pint of Erdinger.
I've never even had a
Honestly,
Is that a
Erdinger,
local brew?
if you don't know, get to know it. No, it's a German wheat beer, but it's the best beer on the planet. I fully believe that.
Where did you get that? Because I've never seen that.
After Burnley games, obviously it's City home tonight, so I'll be going on that. The Bridge Inn, they have a load of German beers on, and that's where I found it.
Oh, right, okay, go on, yeah. And
so my starter...
I like how you went for the beer before you even told me any of the food.
Alright. My starter... I don't eat starters, I'll just go for like mushrooms, garlic mushrooms. I don't even know why I've said that. For my main course...
You don't need to have all three, you've just...
My main course...
I'm going to say tomato soup.
Tomato soup.
Oh, I don't eat
I
starters.
love a pizza or pasta. I love Italian food and curry. Love curry.
Yeah, okay.
I'll have a fowl.
You've been very vague. Come on, give me... I need an...
Mine's got to be a T-bone steak with ketchup on.
I'll get yours, go on. I need something exact off you.
Go on.
Alright. Chicken tikka vindaloo.
Right, okay.
Garlic rice.
Yep.
Peshwari naan.
Yeah.
That's my mate.
That type of curry goes amazing with a pint of lager. Like, it's just so British. And I know it's not British, but it's proper complimentary.
Yeah.
Hand in hand with each other. What are you having for your pudding?
For my pudding, I'll have a pizza. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. It's your last meal.
I'll have
What
a
are you going
pizza.
for then? What pizza?
Or salami, onion and chilli.
Nice.
Very nice.
Go on then. What you having?
Yeah.
Starter?
I won't be having my tomato soup for a start. I'll skip straight to the main. I'll just get a T-bone steak, well done, with loads of ketchup on.
Oh, no. Fuck it. Are you joking?
He eats ketchup. Like, honestly.
But no, it's well done. Yeah. Do you know something? I could get away with tomato sauce on like a good cooked steak at a push.
It's got to be well done for him.
It's got to be like a flip-flop.
Do you think it's really dry?
Yeah, I like it like that.
We went somewhere for his birthday. Where were it? The Fire Pit in Rottenstall, I think it was.
Right,
yeah.
He paid a lot of money for this steak, and it arrived, and it were on these stones, and he had to cook it himself.
Spent about
And he
10
were
minutes flipping
He
it.
was absolutely fuming. He was like, I can't believe I've got to wait to cook my own meal. Why am I here?
Right, and you'd ask for it well done as well.
No, I probably just said kind of mistake. But yeah, my own fault, but I didn't realise.
Have with that.
Just chips. I'm not a very adventurous food man.
Go right into the tomato sauce.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having a dessert then. Come on, surely this sweet dessert must be a little bit better.
Oh,
I won't even say angel
I'm
flight.
going to say a bag of Haribo's.
Yeah, alright then.
Oh, I got the appetite of a 12-year-old. Nah.
My little one's got more of a taste than you.
It is pretty bad.
It is poor.
Mrs. goes mad. She's like, I can only make you 3 meals a week. You won't eat what else?
I bet you absolutely love smiley faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, fish fingers.
Yeah. So yeah, which Haribo's?
Go on then. I'll have the fizzy ones.
He's not actually getting it. Yeah, go on then. Thanks, mate.
I'm not going to go to the now.
I'm not doing number 2.
But and what you're washing that down with? Don't even say fucking Panda Pop.
Just have a pint of Coke.
Full fat.
No, I'll have I do like a Moretta. A pint of Moretta.
Nice pint.
Yeah.
Nice pint. Yeah, so just want to say thanks to you for coming on today. It's been very entertaining.
Yeah,
I've really enjoyed it. Do you know that?
Oh, cheers, man.
Where can people find you?
SoundCloud, Facebook.
So is SoundCloud your main sort of...
Yeah, we don't really use what else. Yeah, it's just SoundCloud. I've started.
We're on YouTube and TikTok and stuff. He set them accounts.
Yeah.
So we're on things.
You're on things, but everyone's got their own main one
Yeah.
that push the most, haven't they? Would you say it's
Facebook and SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Right, so that's DvB Productions on Facebook and SoundCloud, and TikTok, YouTube.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Excellent.
Spotify.
Is there anything you just want to plug at all whilst you're here? Have you got the latest?
Give you 2023. Get it listened.
Yeah. I know, by the way. Downloaded it last night. So.
Would you prefer that one or the original?
Leave it with me, I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
I will let you know in the comments as well.
I
Because
think the new one's better.
Yeah, the thing is, with me, I hammered Give You, right, when it first came out, and maybe you just attach memories to tunes, because I listen to some Alex K tunes, and you listen to them now, I'm like, the shit.
Yeah.
But at the time, they're amazing, and you look back on them fondly. I've just had a shot on Alex K for no reason there, but there is other people out there who get attached.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Not great, like, because of the memories, nostalgia. So when I think of Give You the original, I think of, I used to play in a place, TJ's bar in Whitehaven. I used to always pull out the DvB stuff, so it was like, for me, it's probably
the original.
No, but the thing is though, I think that the production on this one, and do you know when we were saying about the DvB vibe, you've got more of a DvB vibe, but fucking hell, DvB vibe on this one.
Yeah.
I was going to say DvB Viper B there. Like,
I don't know what you're trying to say. Either DD and the DV.
But yeah, it's got more of that edginess. I think the newest one.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And I think it probably. I'll lean more towards that.
What you're saying is, if I sent you 2 mixers back in the day, you'd play this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I'd have the nostalgic thing for that.
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
So yeah.
Fair play.
Subjectively, I think that one is better. Yeah. In fact, it's objectively better as well because it's better production, better feel to it, and everything. So, yeah, go out and buy that. Where can people find that at?
It's not out yet, but it'll be out on Club.
No, we've done a bit of a thing with that, haven't we? So we've done ours. I'm going to remaster the original.
Oh yeah, you can plug this. Yeah.
To whatever standard it to. We'll do a remaster of the original though. Yeah. We've got a bad mix, so Bad Behaviour have done one for us.
Yeah.
And we've also got. We've got 2, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we put on our Facebook page that we wanted to get some up and comers involved.
Yeah.
Just for a bit of fun, really. See what's out there and see what happened. And we picked 2 lads. So one's called Jamie Wales Synthetic. Yeah. He's doing a mix, and also Gregor. Yeah. So Greg Evans, he's going to do a mix for us as well.
Excellent. Check them out when this comes out. When these come out, I think it's going to be a big release for you as well, because as I said, there's a lot of people who's got that nostalgic feeling to the track, and I think a lot of people will be interested to hear the other mixes.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. It's been fantastic. If you've enjoyed this episode, share it with your mates. That's how we grow as a podcast. I say this every week. Sharing helps, and same goes with the tunes and that as well. If you see your favourite producers and they're putting out tunes, sharing takes 2 seconds, but it could be someone else's favourite tune 5 years down the line when you've always took that one share, and it can go viral. That's what it is. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this, you can sign up at Patreon for some bonus episodes and to get early access to the public episodes at patreon.com/itstimetoriffresh. It's been an absolute pleasure, boys.
Cheers.
I'll see you later.
Thank you very much.